Part 2. Robert's ancestors sowed the seeds. It was an act of devotion of a quiet and mild, windless evening, preferably during a light, moderate drizzle, preferably as soon as possible, after the grey leaves had stretched out. The potato, it was a new root fruit. There was nothing mystical about it, nothing religious. Women and children could join in and plant these clay pears that came from abroad like coffee. Yesterday Robert went bareheaded and shouted in Jesus' name. He was like a log with his hands on it, but inside he was like a child. He considered himself a wanderer on his land, and was friendly and docile. Look, now these seeds are growing and becoming bigger and bigger seeds, and the same thing is happening all over the earth when the seed is sown. In Palestine, in America, in Częstochowa city, oh how wide was the world, and the purple strip of land that he went and sowed lay in the middle of it all. Seed feathers radiated from his hands. The sky was cloudy and calm. It seemed to be shrinking into a tiny little drizzle. Then the crops grew and potatoes were harvested in October. Then winter came. No, the matter was not under control in the fall, but it did not help. It had no significance for life. In the summer came the time and the great advice, and the days passed again, and nothing bad happened, because the day passed. Indeed, we live among mysteries too wonderful to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of lambs, how rivers and stones are eternal, in harmony with gravity, while we ourselves dream of a brave uprising. If two hands touch each other and they make bonds, never let them break. How people go from the light and scarred damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me always keep my distance from them, from those who think they know the answer. Let me always accompany those who say, I want to look, and laugh with astonishment, and then bow their heads. Meanwhile, the world is still colorful. Someone said, first God created idiots. It was for practice. Then he created school boards following the equator. I would personally intercede like the Roman tribune for St. Paul. He called two of his centurions and ordered them, prepare a force of 200 soldiers, 70 horsemen, and 200 spearmen to go to Caesarea, and 9 o'clock in the evening. In the Bible, see Bible. The carriage held only us and immortality. We drove slowly. He didn't know the rush, and I postponed my work and my rest too, because of his kindness. We passed the school where the children fought. During the break in the ring, we passed the fields of watching grain. We passed the setting sun, or rather the sun passed us. Rosa drew with tremors and called my dress. We stopped in front of a house that seemed like a bulge in the earth. The roof was barely visible, a cornice in the ground. Since then it's been centuries, and it still seems shorter than a day. However, I guessed it was horse heads, and we were getting closer to eternity. Robert, in love with the land, once again felt the need to travel by ship, like a man who changes the course of his life, and that which one impulsive and shameful act. Sailor faces internal struggle, etc., and so on. But it wasn't like that before. There was no dry land on earth, only the waves of the world ocean. Millions, trillions years ago. But the days passed again, and nothing but happened because the days passed. Looking at Robert's patch, let us consider the complexity of the human condition and society as a whole. And let's ask ourselves questions about friendships, friendship, loyalty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let the remains of the day, collected in this way, become a profound exploration of the human condition, delving into the complexity of memory, dignity, and the consequences of a life devoted to service. I remember well. None of us who were there could forget. I was almost 18 that summer. Never before or since have my people gathered in such large numbers. Our camp on Buonia field stretched out 600 meters. In those old days, none of my people knew more than 1,000 numbers. We believed that no honest man needed to know more than this many people. There was my own Slavic tribe. On the day of the fight, I slept late. The day before, I was hunting hares and had to go a long way to find the herds because there were so many people in the valley. I came back with meat, but I was very tired, so when I got up, the camp women were already starting to dig wild turnips. Two of my uncles had left earlier for another deer hunt. There were only my grandmother and a third uncle in the camp, and the sun was high overhead and it was hot. I went to the river to cool off, then got hungry and came back around dinner time. When you finish eating, said the uncle, go to our horses. Maybe something will happen today. I can feel it in the air. I hurried to the horses and joined my younger brother, who was herding the family horses. When I reached the herd, I heard screams in the village. People shouted that white soldiers were heading toward the camp. And after a while, a fight broke out. Our attempts to save lives did not was successful, but we all felt good about our victory over the soldiers and celebrated it with a big dance. But our triumph was empty. Around winter, more soldiers arrived on the reservations to catch us. There were too many of them to fight now. We were divided into teams and we no longer felt strong. We were finally ready for peace and believed we would have no more troubles. But don't give up, you, when things go wrong, and sometimes they will, when the road you on seems to lead uphill, when resources are tight and debt is high, when you want to smile but you have to sigh, when worry makes you feel a little down. Rest if you have to, but don't give up. Life is strange, it has its twists and turns. As each of us sometimes learns, many failures end. If he had managed to win, he could have won. Don't give up, even though the pace seems slow. Maybe you will succeed with the next blow. Often the goal is closer than it seems to the weak and wakening man. Often the combatant has given up when he could have won the victory cup. And he learned too late, when night fell, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is a failure turned inside out, the silver tint of clouds of doubts. And you can never tell how close you are. It may be close, though it seems distant. So keep fighting when you get it the hardest. Don't give up when things seem worst. Life will break you. No one will save you from this, neither will loneliness, because loneliness will also break you with its longing. You have to laugh, you have to feel. This is the reason you are here on earth. You have to risk your heart. You are here to be consumed. And when it happens that you are broken, betrayed, abandoned, hurt, or death touches you too close, sit under the apple tree and listen to the apples fall in heaps around you, wasting their sweetness. Tell yourself that you have tasted as much as you could. I think of beauty as a joy forever. Its beauty increases. It will never be, it will pass into nothingness, but it will still be there. For us, the gazebo is quiet and sleepy, full of sweet dreams, health and peaceful breathing. That's why we make rest every morning, a floral band that binds us to the earth, despite the depression and inhuman needs, wreaths of noble natures, of gloomy days, of all unwholesome and dark ways, created for our caste. Yes, after all, some shape of beauty removes the veil from our dark spirit, such sun, moon, old and young trees, sprouting in the shade, for simple sheep, and such a daffodils with the green world in which they live, and clear streams. It is a cooling secret brand against the hot season, a forest break, rich with a hint of bright musk rose flowers. Such is the majesty of destruction. We have imagined the mighty dead, all the beautiful stories we have heard or read. The endless fountain of the immortal drink, it flows towards us from the edge of the sky. I do not accept the end of man. It's easy to say that a man is mortal simply because he endures that when the last ding-dong of doom rings and fades away from the last wordless rock hanging without right on the last red and dying evening, that even then there will still be one more sound, his faint, inexhaustible voice who still talks. I don't agree to this. I believe that man will not only survive, he will overcome. He is immortal not because he is the only one among creatures who has an inexhaustible voice, but because he has a soul, a spirit capable of compassion, sacrifice, and perseverance. It is the duty of a poet, a writer, to write about these things. It is his privilege to help man survive by lifting his heart and reminding him of the courage, honor, hope, pride, compassion, pity, and sacrifice that were the glory of his past. The poet's voice does not have to be on a human record. It can be one of the support pillars that will help him survive and win. Maintain ability and discipline in victories. Today's Lenten garments distance us from faith. St. Pio of Pietrelcina would have been horrified. Walk calmly amid the noise and rush, and remember what peace there can be in silence, as far as possible, without giving up. Be on good terms with all people. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their own history. Avoid loud and aggressive people. They are torment for the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, because there will always be more and worse than you. Also enjoy your achievements as your plans. Take an interest to your own career, regardless of humility. It is a real property in the changing fortunes of time. Be careful in your business affairs, because the world is full of deceit. But don't let that blind you that there is virtue. Many people strive for lofty ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially don't fake your feelings. Don't be cynical about love, for in the face of all droughts and disappointment, it is as eternal as grass. Graciously accept the advice of the years, gracefully handing over the matters of use. Develop the strength of spirit to protect you in sudden misfortune, but don't torment yourself with figments of your imagination. Many fears are born from fatigue and loneliness. In addition to healthy discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and stars. You have the right to be here. And whether it is clear to you or not, the universe is undoubtedly unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, however you imagine Him, and whatever your hardship and aspirations. In the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. For all its fiction, drudgery, and shattered dreams, it's still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, try to be happy. Finally, my favorite poem, Good Hours by Robert Frost. I had for my winter evening walk no one at all with whom to talk, but I had the cottages in a row up to their shining eyes in snow, and I thought I had the folk within, I had the sound of a violin, I had a glimpse through curtain laces of useful forms and useful faces. I had such company outwards bound. I went till there were no cottages found. I turned and repented, but coming back I saw no window but that was black. Over the snow my creaking feet disturbed the slumbering village street like profanation, but your leave at 10 o'clock of a winter eve.